in and out, arguing, trifling, difficult. Let no, I don't know why you love me.
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video. That's crazy. I'm trying to find time between, school to like record, and it's hard. I see how y'all YouTube girlies be like struggling. This is not easy. I gotta start somewhere, so I'm gonna start here. So basically this is gonna be like an intro video to myself. If y'all see me looking over here, I'm looking at my kitten. He's special. It's basically just gonna be like an intro video. Who am I? Who are you watching on your screen right now? Y'all don't even know who I am. Like, I'm mysterious. So the whole goal of that is to just really introduce myself. Like, what am I about? To get into that, I have some questions that people had asked me, and I'm gonna just have my own questions because like some of them were helpful and some of them were just like repetitive. For those who don't know me, my name is Jalea, hence the name Jalea Marie. My middle name is Marie. I'm a Taurus gang. I'm a Taurus, and my favorite color is pink. I guess a little bit about me in that little short clip. Also, I'm in vet school, so I'm in school to be a veterinarian. I attend Virginia Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine, so I'm down here in Blacksburg VTech. That's like a short little overview. So to get into some of these questions, what made you start? What made me start veterinary medicine, if that's what the question was kind of pertaining to, I had an incident with my dog, and she basically wasn't dead, but she was on the verge of death. Like, she was about to die, and like the doctors were just really rude. Like, they just were like, because it was kind of my fault while she was. I should probably give context. She basically got into a fight with another dog, and I was walking her, so it was kind of my fault because I should have pulled her away, but wasn't, because I couldn't tell how the dog was gonna like react. So that's not really my fault. But basically, when we took her to the doctor, she was very like red, very like not comatose or anything, but she was very like she just didn't feel good. Long story short, the doctors were just very like rude, cold, telling me like she wasn't gonna make it. Like, didn't even get blood work back before telling me that. And I was mad because like as a kid, I'm like, what, 15, and I'm just like, why would you tell me that? Like, you're telling me and my family, my dog is going to literally die, and she's perfect. Sadie is still living to this day, by the way. She's about to be 15. She was probably like, I don't know, 10 when that happened. Like, she really, even though it wasn't really 5 years ago, I'm bad at math, but besides the point, she was still really young. So it made me mad. It made me feel like, I don't ever want another person to deal with this. So like, I'm going to become a veterinarian. And I always loved animals though, so don't think like it was just because of the story. But I've always loved animals, and I've always wanted to like help them. I didn't know what that looked like as a kid, but I knew I always wanted that. So hence as to why I'm here. The next question is, what are some ways you de-stress while in school? Girl, de-stress. What is that? I don't even know what that is sometimes. Like, the best way I de-stress in school is basically by like, taking walks. Like, just to get a little bit into Virginia Maryland's curriculum, we're in class majority of the time from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that doesn't leave much time for de-stress. When I can de-stress, I take walks. I call my friends. Like, I talk to my home friends, not my school friends, because we all be stressed out. So I talk to my home friends, my best friend at home, my mom, and that's just kind of what I do. Like, it's really no time to de-stress sometimes, but you got to make the time. So that's what I'm learning in my first year, is like, you got to make the time to de-stress. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like for myself. If you hear a dog, that's my roommate's dog, so she's probably right. I'm by the door playing with my cat. The next question is, what is your ideal lifestyle? So my ideal lifestyle is very like, my friends call me bougie. I don't think I'm that bougie. I could be, but it's not to that extent. I feel like, Tauruses, we like the finer things in life. I wouldn't call me bougie though, like a little bougie. I just feel like low key, I like expensive stuff. Like, I like expensive stuff. I like to buy nice things. It doesn't always have to be designer. Like, I don't just like designer stuff. I just like expensive stuff. I like money. and expensive things. So my ideal lifestyle is just to be like not comfortable, because I don't like to say that. I don't want to be comfortable. I want to be challenged in a sense of like spiritualness and God and stuff. I want to be challenged semi. And I'm not saying too much, because sometimes you say things like, I'll be like, challenged. No, I'm not saying it like that. But like, I want a life that provides me with excitement. I want a life that provides me with adventure and money. Like, you can't go wrong with. I don't need a lot of money. I just want to have enough money to like sustain my spending habits, my family when it comes, and like that's it. Like my spending habits and my family, like just to live luxuriously but still be able to like give back to the community, put money into like my undergrad, maybe really into the pre-vet program in my undergrad, and maybe give money to Virginia Tech. We'll see about that in the next 3 years. But this question said what made me decide to go to vet school. That kind of ties into the first question I answered, but same thing. I just love animals. You know, nothing too crazy. It's just really just hey, you have to have the drive to love animals. If you don't have the drive, you're not gonna make it through vet school, because it gets real challenging, and you really just don't know sometimes if you want to continue because you be like, is this what I have to deal with? Because I'm stressed. But it's worth it when you actually can like sit there and read blood work, and it's worth it when you see your first patient and you're like, oh, that's not right. That patient's obtunded. That patient is like, you know, comatose. The patient has lack of cranial nerves. Like, that's when it starts to be like, I know what I'm talking about. That's the best part about vet school, when you actually feel like you know what you're talking about. If you talk to people and they're like, wow, you sound so intelligent. Shout out my doctors and my professors, because without them, I wouldn't be here. So vet school, what made me go? Love for animals and God, really. I prayed about it. Just prayed to God. Like, I applied to 5 vet schools. I applied to Tuskegee. I applied to Virginia, Maryland. I applied to LIU, which is Long Island University. I applied to UF in Florida, University of Florida, and then UPenn. UPenn was a long shot. I knew it. It just didn't matter to me. I just need 5 just in case, you know, have more options than not enough. Basically, I applied to 5 vet schools. I got into 2 out of my 5. I got into Tuskegee and I got into Virginia, Maryland. I chose Virginia, Maryland because I'm from Maryland. PG County, baby. Woo woo. I get in-state tuition. Tuskegee was a beautiful school. You know, the only HBCU African-American school in the world for vet school. I was honored to get into Tuskegee, but $50,000 a year? 13 hours from Maryland? It's not giving. It's a little far. So I chose Virginia, Maryland. Who is the person that makes you the happiest? That's a really hard question, because all the people in my life right now make me happy. But the person that makes me the happiest, that's hard. I feel like it was my dad. That was the person that made me the happiest. Like, not to say I haven't been fully happy since my dad passed, but obviously without my dad, it's hard. That was the person that I feel like made me the happiest in the whole world, which was being near my dad. That was my bestie. What's something you're passionate about? What's the best advice you've given? Aside from vet school, I'm really passionate about giving back to the community. Not too long ago, we had a day where we basically went to go talk to like middle schoolers about vet school, but still we went to go talk to middle schoolers, and they were just so like this is so interesting, this is so cool. And I love talking to kids because they're so interested in like what I do, and interested in me and how I got here, how I'm just about to be 23 and like just physically standing in front of them. So they want to know like my whole life story, and I think that's so cool. And I really want to help like other kids get into the fields they want, whether that be vet med, whether that be, this little boy said he wanted to go to Broadway, whether it be anything you want to do. I want to let everybody know you can do whatever you put your mind to. Anything. If it sounds outrageous, bump them, you can do it. So that's probably the best advice I've given. And the thing I'm really passionate about is outreach and giving back to the community. Like, I want to do mission trips and travel to like Nicaragua, do some outreach work, giving back to people's animals who can't afford it. Like, that's super cool to me. That's something I'm super passionate about. It's still vet med related, but not too much. Somebody asked me, how's vet school? Can you see the tears in my eyes? I'm stressed, high key. I'm not gonna lie. If I just said I wasn't stressed, I would be lying to y'all. But aside from the stress, my vet school friends are amazing. Like, I love them to death. I'm with them like every day because we all be stressed and we all be studying 24/7. Vet school is fun on some days. Some days we got a short course load. We got 4 lectures and we get out at 11. And then you got the whole day to do nothing, no lab, no nothing. And that's why I'm like, I can breathe, I can cook, I can come home and wash my hair if I have to. I can do whatever I want. Then there's other days where they're long days. They're 8 to 5 days, or they're 8 to 3 days because you got lab from like 1 to 3 to 2:50. So it just depends. It's stressful, but at the same time, it's fun. We have some fun times. Like we find some stuff to do down here in Blacksburg. So it depends on what day you ask me. Somebody asked me what's my favorite riddle. I don't have a favorite riddle. I don't even know riddles. I don't know. I don't know that one. What's the hardest thing about being in vet med? That's a good question. The hardest thing about being in vet med for me, Pluto. Okay, since he wants to be seen so bad, say hi. Thumbnail. He's like, put me down. Oh, he wanted to be seen. Anyways, the hardest thing about vet med for me at the moment, and will probably be for the next 3 years, you know, I graduated from Towson. All of my friends from undergrad are really like in workforce. So they're living their lives, they're traveling, they having babies, they get married, like they doing, you know, big stuff, like big adult stuff. Although I went back to school, I feel like sometimes I miss out on life, if that makes sense. I'm married and doing beautiful things and traveling. And here I am sitting in a classroom from 8 to 5 studying when all my friends out the club and they having fun, they enjoying their 20s and their 22s, and I'm in school. That's the hardest thing about vet med for me right now. Just really enjoy and live life. Like that's beautiful. Like I wish I'm living, but I'm living in a different way. So I really won't be living until I'm 26 because I got 3 more years and I'm about to be 23 this year. It's a little disappointing sometimes. It's very hard to watch your friends like have events and you can't attend because I'm 5 hours away from home. So I can't always attend if it falls on an exam week. If it does, I'm driving 5 hours back home to come back on Sunday because I got class on Monday. Of course it's compromise. It's taking the time out to be places that you want to be, but it's still just, it's a little difficult. Sometimes I don't really feel like driving 5 hours to come home. It's a very short time to be home. I don't like to do it. But if it's for a reason like my best friend's birthday, I'll come home. If it's for like somebody's baby shower, if I can make it doesn't fall on exam week, I'll come home. Or anything else I can get invited to. If it falls on a week that I can come home and you give me time to come home, I can try my best, but it just depends. Not being able to do what you want, like you don't get that luxury no more, and that's just so disappointing, I think. For example, in our second year, which is next year, I don't have a summer, so I don't come home. I'm down here from January to August. While my lovely friends are doing at-home things, I'm on clinics and I'm in the hospital. But I'm glad that I'm in clinics. Clinics are important because that's where you use all your knowledge. So it's just compromise. Only for like the next 3 years. It's a very long time. So like going to a PWI. Towson is technically a PWI in Maryland. It's quote quote a PWI, but to me, it's a HBCU PWI because it's hella black people. If you wanted to hang with black people, you had your crowd. If you wanted to hang with white people, you had your crowd. You wanted to hang with Hispanic people, you had your crowd. It's very diverse. And that's what I love about TU. Like it's so diverse. But Virginia Tech, it's a great school. We'll never take away from the accreditations that it has. It's an amazing school. Diversity is a little low though, because we're in Blacksburg, Virginia, which is like real southy, easty, westy Virginia, whatever. It's just very deep Virginia. The nearest beauty supply store for me is 40 minutes away in Roanoke. And that's a drive. And you know, every time somebody wants to go get a bonnet or something, I don't want to drive 40 minutes to get me just a bonnet. I gotta make the trip eventful. Very isolated, you know. Beautiful for scenery, love Blacksburg. Going to a PWI, I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate. Like, you know, this is a real PWI. It's less diversity. There were 7 of us in my class of 128 people. We downgraded to 6. Out of 128 people that came in, there was only 7 black people. So that leaves 121 people who are of either white or of Hispanic origin. And even, I think honestly the Hispanic origin is probably lower than the black people, because I'm trying to think, and we maybe got like about 2 or 3 Hispanic individuals. It's a lack of diversity in vet med in general, so I'm not surprised. But you know, going to a school where people don't look like you is hard. Going to a school where people, you know, don't think like you, or you know, they don't get the same slang, it's a little difficult. And I didn't really consider that when, you know, I came down here. I just came down here because the school was great and tuition was in state. That's something you really got to consider when choosing a vet school, is student life, your everyday student life. Like, thank God me and all the black people click up because we like each other. But it's like, you know, that's not always the case. Like sometimes you really don't like each other and that's hard. That was kind of the end of my questions, but on this channel, I kind of want to talk about what y'all can expect before I like just sign out. So what y'all can expect on this channel, you kind of saw it in my intro, is just vlogs, travel when I am traveling, when I have time to travel. A lot of vet med, because that's my life. A lot of like me studying at Starbucks. Talking about vet med, like I said before, I'm really big on community outreach, and it's a very small percentage of us in vet med. So those that love animals and just want to like, you know, want to get involved in vet med, I want to just continue to be a source, a resource. Like, you got questions, DM me. You want to talk, we can chat. Like, I'm very open. So it's never, oh, I can't DM her, she might not respond. I'ma respond. I'm on my phone. I'ma see it. I got this thing in my hand a lot. So I'ma see it. Okay. You guys are gonna see it. So if I see it, I'm gonna respond, and that's just kind of that on that. But it's gonna be a nice little combo of things. I got some trips planned. You know, in the next couple upcoming months, I'm going to Mexico and I'm going to DR. So we got some trips. Gotta get my summer this summer. So we got some trips in plan and in rotation that y'all are gonna be a part of. So it's just making the time. Why not show my face on here? All the other girlies got their face on here. Why not me? Right? So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was eventful for y'all and y'all got to learn a little bit about me. Stay tuned for my next video. See y'all.
Why you love